What is up, YouTubers? See if I can get you a little bit more light in here. I just kind of wanted to go over some things and talk to you once again on, see if I can get this to work here. Sorry about that, guys. Unprepared for this. I just wanted to show you some stuff. And by no means, guys, am I bragging. And like I said the other day, you know, I'm doing this for you guys. It's one of them things I think we all need to be prepared. I don't know if that'll help you or not, but I just got a little area set up that, you know, I have that, you know, it's not a whole lot, you know, maybe 6 months worth of stuff, if that, but, you know, at least I'm, you know, maybe prepared more than the average person, you know, if the crap hits the fan. It's one of them things, you know, like I said the other day, I didn't really plan on doing these videos and things, but I've had a couple other people ask me and that. So I kind of want to go over some stuff that I do, some things that you guys could do, you know, buy a little extra here and there. But make a long story short, you know, you can always get like camping fuel, and buy you one of the little Coleman camping stoves. I told a guy that when we had an ice storm, you know, him and his wife she was frantic because they couldn't find a grill or anything. And at the time we had Cabela's, and I told him he might try up there. I said, I know they had a lot at the time that I'd went up there looking for something myself, but I said, you know, that's been almost 30 minutes, and, you know, he thanked me and went on. Don't wait till you have to have something. Another thing I like to do, and I started to do a video the other day, and it didn't work out for me and that. But what I've done, and I went through the process, but what I've done is I've put 2 bags of charcoal. I bought one of the big bags of charcoal. I reduced them down. I get these bags off the internet. You can get them just about anywhere. I have one of them vacuum. I don't know if I have any in here right now. But I usually, this is flour. And what I do is vacuum seal it like this. And then I put it in this. So, you know, my charcoal, I can open this bag up. And if I have to, I can use this tin also. And cut it up and use it for different things. But I've got my charcoal in here. You know, it's enough to put in one of them small grills, and you can grill something. The only thing about that is you have to watch, especially in a type of position, and I really don't want to go into how that you should prepare or to do this, but you got to be cautious where you cook the food, your surroundings, because you know it's going to draw other people around, and you know, you got to be very, very cautious on, you know, what you do and who you tell. And that's the other thing I wanted to say, you know. And, you know, like I told you the other day, I felt that I put myself out there on in the YouTube community, but like I said, I don't have enough, and I know deep down in my heart God's going to protect me from what's to come. I just know that deep down in my heart, he's gonna, he said to for me to do this because people need to know. So I know he's gonna protect me. Jesus is here to protect me, and I'm to help you guys out as much as I can. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is your canned goods. If you can, try to get the canned goods that are pre-opened. That way you don't have, if you have to, you can pop this off, set this on your little candle thing, whatever, and you can heat this can up, and if you have to, you can eat it out of the can. You really need to consider, if you can, in my opinion, buy in bulk, like your flour, sugar, things like that, but then reduce it down into a food processor or a food, you can get these little bags. I took these navy beans, I vacuum sealed them. You can vacuum seal them here. A lot of times my vacuum seal, I'll cut this off, then vacuum seal it here and get it tight as I can. Some of the stuff I'm going back and redoing because I've noticed in my garage, my neighbor next door's got a property that's fairly big, and he don't mow the back half of his yard. And when that happens, them field mice and things for some reason draw over into my yard. Luckily this year we've had a lot of snakes and things, and I think I haven't had them near as bad. But then that's another thing you got to think about is your snakes and stuff. But this is another option. You can buy your navy beans, lima beans, and that. Put them in a small package, and that way, if I have to, I can grab this, throw a couple of them in a bug out bag, and go. Same with some of my canned goods and things. Have plenty of kerosene, lighter. I have several different. I've got the kerosene jugs to where if I need them, I have them. I also have my water. I can go get water in this. There's, just remember, if you've got a house and that, you can get the water even if it's nasty. And I forgot how many gallons of water that's there, but you could put a little bit of chlorine in this because that's what they do in town and stuff. And you can have these, and they will, you can have your water. Another nice thing is I've got some rainwater barrels that I bought that have spigots on it. And, I don't know where you live or whatever, but you can catch the rainwater, put you a couple drops of chlorine. I have plenty of chlorine I have, and I would rather drink that and put it through a water purifier or something than do without water. That's just another option. Something that I thought of the other day, and I've cut down on some of my toilet paper and stuff because there's going to be a time that you're going to do without it. So what I suggest for every member of the family, you get the squirt bottles. They use them for a lot of different things. You can put a little bit of water in them, and that, it sounds gross and that, but you can, fill it full of water, whatever, run it in the stream, whatever, pick it up, wash your bum and go on. You're not going to always have the toilet paper, I guess what I'm trying to say. There's so much stuff that I have that I'd like to tell you, but I don't have a whole lot of time. You could buy the plastic shelving and things, and just put, fill it up a little bit. You don't have to go overboard. A lot of my stuff I'll buy at the dollar store. Hydrogen peroxide. I get this stuff, $1 or $2. I don't remember. You can get 2 of them. You're good. That ought to do you for a while, and especially if you buy 2 or 3 of them. Just the only thing I can tell you guys is be prepared. Candles. Have plenty of candles. I know they say not to use candles in a bug out situation or in a disaster, I guess what I'm trying to say. But, you just got to do what you got to do. You got to do things to survive. I know September is National Preparedness Month, and maybe that's why I'm kind of doing some of these. Shaving cream, shampoos, soaps, aspirins, things like that you need to have on hand. You're not going to be able to run down to Walmart, especially if they collapse the economy. And that's why I was saying, the average man can't afford gold, but you can afford silver. You can go to your local pawn shops and, get what you can. If you got $50 or $60, go in there, buy $50, $60 worth. Just buy a little at a time. I can only, preach that, so many times. Like I said, the flour, your honey, get local honey and stuff from people. These I bought, they were regular $5. I bought them on sale at Tractor Supply. They had them for $3. I bought 2 of them. I don't know if I'll use them, but I can string up a deer or whatever. You just have to be prepared, people. I don't know if you could see, but I've done my flour and sugar. This is the white powdered sugar here. I've got several of them. The other day, I done some salt up. This is one of the items that I done up to show you guys and that, but my video and stuff wasn't working correctly, so I just chose not to put the video out. But I showed you how to vacuum seal these, and it was a 25-pound bag of salt that I've turned into little packets that you can use, for the grab and go bug out. They're, I've sealed them up very good. I put the date on it and what it is. I got sea salt. Some of us, like with me, I need the sea salt rather than the regular salt because of high blood pressure. And you got to remember that. Get some distilled water. Have distilled water. You can, use it for different things. There's so much stuff that I can go over, and another thing that I'd remembered is, I don't know if you guys have an Amish, we've got what would they call an Amish pantry, and we buy all of our jams, jellies, stuff. I have stuff from 2012, and the other day we ran out of some stuff and just didn't want to run into town, and I grabbed the jelly off the shelf that they'd done in 2012, and it's good. I mean, I'm not afraid to eat any of my stuff. If you prepare it, do it right, have it in a dry place or a moist dry place, and that to where there's not a whole lot of temperature, I have no problem eating any of my stuff. With this gravy mix, you could see, I don't know, but $1.16, and I've had this for probably 2 years. And I have baskets, well, not baskets full, because we're depleting it because of, me not working and stuff. But, I've got some of this stuff, and thank goodness I did. Cereals, things like that. You can buy enough stuff to cover You know, just doing a little at a time. You know, I went and bought Walmart, um, and I don't have them all filled up right now. I don't know if I can get this out of here or not to show you. You can get these little can racks, and this will rotate it for you. You just take it, the can, and put it in there, and there you have it. When you pull one out, it'll rotate it. Like I said, you know, I used to have these full at one time, but you know, it's thank goodness I've had it, you know, because it's helped rotating the stuff. You get these bags, and I've got all different sizes of these. This I don't know if you've seen the little heat deal that I have, but I also have seen people use irons. You can use iron or a couple irons to melt this to where it'll put that seam on there, and it'll be a nice neat seam. You don't have to go out and buy the tool like I did. I'll put these in my 5-gallon buckets, and then I'll take another one and put the opposite way, and then once I seal my lid on it, it's good to go. Or you can take, and like I did some of my flour and rice. You know, like this. You know, that's white rice. You know, $20 or $25. I don't know what it is now. 15, something like that. But you can seal it up to where later on I'll come back and I'll put them in smaller bags like this. This is a Morton table salt. This is some more of that salt. You know, I chose to do some small bags, and I chose to do some medium bags. You know, you can do a little at a time. And like I said, guys, you know, I'm putting myself out there on some of this stuff. But I know, and I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, you know, I hesitated for a long time to do these videos. And the Lord told me, you know, what good is my knowledge of doing some of this if I don't share it? And he, you know, basically he told me he was going to protect me. He said, you know, that I really needed to get out the word to the masses, because we're in for some hard times. I know there's some people that's not going to listen to this, and I know they're going to regret not listening. For those of you that are preppers and things, please keep doing what you're doing. You know, the time, you know, I think our time's limited here. I wished I could you know, give a more positive, but it's very strong right now, and you know, I guess that's why I'm sharing this stuff with you. Another thing I wanted to kind of share with you guys and gals. I don't know if you see these containers like this, and you can get them pretty reasonable. And we've had this one, thank goodness, we've had an ice storm several years ago, and I'd been putting back, you know, I think I went to the dollar store. Some of these I think I gave $1 or Walmart, and you know, and this stuff has dates on it, but you know, that's things that they tell you, they have to put that on there. We have used some of this stuff that was 4 and 5 years old, and thank goodness we had it during an ice storm, because people would go to the grocery store, and that's the stuff that would get you know, people would get that stuff first. And thank goodness we had that stuff. Like I said, I'd went in just to see if I could find a couple other items, and I really didn't need them. I just wanted to replenish at the time. Another thing, and you have to watch it, but once again, the Amish Pantry, $3.19. I would suggest You know, you can eat popcorn. It's filling if you have to eat it for something. I've got bags and bags of this, but the only thing I can tell you is you better vacuum seal it, put it into a some kind of chew through type of container or something, because the mice are attracted to these bad. I've had several bags I've had to throw out. I've had to give some of them away to my neighbors, and just figured I was going to regroup, and as I bought it, I was going to put it into the container or whatever I needed to. And a lot of my stuff, that's what I'm starting to do, is do it like this. And you can put the label, or like my wife does, she puts the lima bean label right in that. She puts a date on the top. And this is sealed tight, guys. It's not, you know, and that way it don't go bad, you know. And these aren't that much money. And you can stack them is what's nice. You can stack them up to where you don't have to worry about that. Same way with your, you know, you need to buy the pickles. And me personally, I use the hot sauce a lot. So I have hot sauce to season things that, you know, I might not want to eat. I know a lot of people don't like, much as I hate to say it, because I'm not a big eater of it, but Spam. But I learned something during the ice storm, and I just got lucky that, and they don't carry it no more. But one of the, and I'm glad I bought what I bought of it. You know, it's not a whole lot, but I stocked up on it. And I don't remember where we got it. It was a local store, but we had the whole egg, powdered eggs. And we just, there was one night that we didn't know what we were going to eat. We didn't know, you know, and I told her, I said, well, we've got some of that potted meat or Spam out there, you know, take your pick. And we had enough here. There was 4 of us, and I took some eggs, mixed it up, made the eggs, and she took this, and we put it on the fire, cooked it on the grill, you know, chopped it up, and, you know, I got it as charcoal-y, that, you know, to where it was edible, and that's what we had for supper, you know. Excuse me, guys. That's just one thing, you know, this stuff. And I had it, this one was 2014. You know, I bought a bunch of it. There was a supermarket going out of business, and I went and I believe I talked with the manager, and he asked me why I wanted so many of them, and I said, well, you know, I'd rather not say. And he's like, that's cool. I think I know what you're, and he said, you know, I just want to make sure you wasn't going to use it for resale, and I said, no, sir, you know, I promise it will not be used for resale. But, you know, and that's what we discussed, you know, off the record. He said that he felt that this was good until you open that can. He said, you know, the only thing he would say is if you get one that's dented or whatever, to discard it. Everybody knows what this is. My wife personally will not, she said she would starve before she would eat sardines. I've ate it, and I tried to get her to try it. I like, and it sounds gross, my uncle got me started on it, but sardines and peanut butter is excellent. And I know some of you are probably turning your head up right now, but, you know, if you get a chance, just try it a little. I mean, it's something, you got to inquire the taste for it. But, you know, if something happens, you know, you can live with it. The other thing, guys, is anything like your pepper, your salts, your sugars, your paprika, things like that. you need to stock up on. That's going to be something that you're going to want to put in your food and you know, have in your food. I'd watched another guy's video earlier today, and I never thought of bouillon cubes. That was one thing I would have never thought of, but you know what he used it for, and that was a smart idea. You know, your ramen noodles, your macaroni and cheese. You know, you can buy these, pour them into a army dill to heat it up, add a little water, and you're good to go. You know, this is good. Just only thing I can tell you guys is be prepared. And watch who and the only thing I can tell you guys is, you know, if you got the guy, and that's why I say I'm not boasting, you know, I've got a little bit to survive. You know, I feel, you know, I'm putting myself out there. You know, you guys know my name, you know, where I live and stuff, basically. And I haven't told anybody that's local, really, unless they watch my videos and things. And like I said, there's not enough here that that really matters. And hopefully, I'll be bugged out and in my safe place or whatever. I just want to share this stuff with you. And you know, that's one thing that if you have friends or neighbors or whatever, start preparing or see if you can. But there's things that you got to watch of other people, and that's why I was saying I'm not boasting, but you got to watch the guy that tells you what he has, what kind of weapons he has, what, you know, what he's going to do, you know, how he's, you know, them guys are going to draw attention to themselves. And I know I have by telling you this, but I feel, like I said, I'm going to be protected. That's just, you know, the bottom line. God going to protect me. You got to watch out for the guys that, you know, want to take on the world. You know, they've got their chest out, and they're like, you know, nobody's going to stop me, and I'll take everybody on, and, you know, it don't matter who you are. You know, you got to watch them guys. They're going to get you hurt, get your family hurt. You really need to get somebody you can trust. You need to work together as a group. Like I told you the other day, you got to have a group of people, or you're not going to survive. I'm sorry to say, and you know that's one of the things that scares me to death, is to be left by yourself. And yeah, you can have all the faith in the world and God and that, and yeah, He can protect you. But you got to take some of this responsibility for yourself, and that's the whole problem with people nowadays. You know, I've heard guys say, "Well, I had a couple buddies say, well, we know where you live. Well, you know, we'll come take it. You know, majority rules." And I said, "Well, why don't you come ahead?" You know. I said, I said, before you're going to make it to me, I said, God's going to destroy you. I said, you know, I know where you guys live and things. And I said, there's no possible way that I can see in a bug out situation and that you're going to go from where you're at to my place without somebody getting you. I said, your vehicles are not going to be, you're not going to be able to jump in it and 10 minutes later or 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you're going to be here. I said, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. I said, by that time, I said, you're probably going to be somewhere that you really don't want to be. You know, and that's what I don't understand. You have people out there that have the boats, have the nice cars and things, but yet they can't provide for their family. They laugh at the ones of us that prepare. they don't take into consideration that, yeah, they're having fun now and everything, but what happens when the crap hits the fan? What happens when they come to their door, knocking at their door? And, it's a very sad situation, and we could only prepare the ones that want to listen. If they don't want to listen, then let me go over here in the light a little bit more. Then I don't know, what to tell you. There's just I don't understand not being prepared. Even if it's just a little bit at a time, and that's what I did. Most of my stuff's a little bit at a time, and thank goodness I did, because yeah, granted, we're using some of it up, but it's recycling the stuff. When I get back on my feet, and I will get back on my feet, then I'll start getting some more. That's the main thing. It's just one of them deals that I just beg you guys, especially, if you have family and that, have a plan, be prepared, talk to your wife about it, work with her, tell her, if the crap hits the fan, have several different ways for her to get home. Most of the time, I think in that situation, before they lock down the cities and things, I think you have, if I recall, it was 8 to 24 hours. I'm not sure. I that may be wrong, and I'll check on it and see. But surely that a family member, if everybody's not panicking that, surely you can be out of the city and have a place that you and your wife can meet. You and your tell your kids to be prepared. Have your bags in your rig. A couple different rigs. You just really need to be prepared this day and age. I chose to kind of lay off on some of the tools and things, and start giving a little extra to the groceries and things. That way, when I put a couple extra items in the cart, we have it. Thank goodness we have. Like I said, my shelves are getting down. I have several of them racks that were empty. At one time they were full, but thank goodness we've had it. It's something I fall back on. And that's another thing, guys. Say nothing ever happens. But you lose your job. At least you've got something to fall back on. You can go into your stash, and like my wife does, she makes breads. We've got lard. We've got extra mustard. Maybe one or two. Thank goodness that we got them, because there's sometimes that week we just, we can't buy the groceries. And that's what I'm telling you. You got to do what you got to do to survive, and that's the whole thing. Have different juices. Have salt, pepper, flour. You can go back to doing the old ways. And hold on, while I said that, it reminded me of something I wanted to show you guys. Sorry about that, guys. There's two books that I really think that you need to read or have on hand, and I just got this one, The Lost Ways. This tells you so much in this book, and I got it off Another Preppers. It tells you how to prepare your meat for, you know, for your proteins and stuff, and how to, you know, how to keep it to where it's not going to spoil, to where you can store it for long, up to 50 years. It tells you a lot of different things, how to store your potatoes. It's all around book. I haven't had a chance to read it. I've got a couple others I'm reading. It tells you different plants and things that you can eat, use for seasoning. I think every person, even the prepper guys, you really need to get this book. It's The Lost Ways. You can get it off of Amazon. I don't even remember what I paid for it, but it was here in 3 days. Get this book, please. This is something you really, really, really need. If nothing else, it's good reading. I started reading it earlier a little bit. It's just something I think you need. You know, some of you preppers may know some of this stuff and that, but this is a good book to have. I can't stress it enough. I mean, it shows you how to use buckets for a water wheel to generate power. It shows you how to make snowshoes. It shows you how to make your shelter to where you can have a shelter and have a wood burning area to cook your foods and things in the area to where it won't give the carbon monoxide. I mean, it shows you just about anything you want. You know, it's a very good book to have, in my opinion. So once again, The Lost Ways. Get it. I don't know who the author is. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm sure you can look it up on Amazon. Another book that I've been reading, and I think everybody needs to have it, the UCC people. This, I'll just hold it up there. I don't know if you can see it. This book tells you basically the common law. It's things that we all should know. It quotes verses from the Bible, where it's at, and things. Basically, this is the law of the land. You know, I don't know if you've heard talk about the common law and things. That's what they go on. Get this book, read it. It may come in handy. It may save your life. It's just one of them books I think everybody ought to have in their arsenal. I've got a couple others. I'll do it in another video. I know this video is a little long. I've went through a lot of stuff in the short amount of time, and it's very a very good book. I think that you really need to have, you know, and I've said this before. You guys know about my learning disability and that, and I'm not. That's not an excuse or whatever. And I hate to read, but I am getting more and more books and things and soaking up knowledge. And I don't know if it's that God wants me to put these videos out there for y'all and to get to the people that I can and help, you know, save some people. But I'm telling you, people, we're living in a world that you can't even imagine, you know, what's to come. He's enlightened me on a lot of things, and you know, basically, it's one of them things, you know, I'll tell the ones I can and reach out to the ones I can, and the ones that are the naysayers or the non-believers, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to be left in the dark. And it's coming fast. And I had a guy tell me that, you know, as long as he had faith in God, that God would protect him. And I told him, I said, well, it tells you also in the Bible, and I don't remember what verse it is, but God also wants you to, you know, protect, and they wanted you to, he wanted you to prep. And maybe the next video I'll do, I'll share that verse with you. I'll have to research it, and that it's been a long time since I had read that part. And you know, I'm not saying I know my Bible inside and out, but I know enough to, you know, argue the point with people, and I know that he don't want us to just sit there and sit back and, you know, say, okay, God, here I am, you know, I followed everything you wanted me to follow, and I'm going to protect you. Well, it's not going to work that easy. I think some Christians are going to be woke up. This is my opinion, people, but I don't think that, you know, I think that we're all going to have to go through some trials and tribulations before he comes. And, you know, I know there's people that feel that he's going to rapture them up, but you still need to be prepared. You know, I'm just not going to go into that part. You know, that's, you know, not for me to decide. I just feel that you people really, really, really need to be prepared. I'm telling you. You're going to see some hard times. We already have seen it with Florida. We've seen it with Texas. These other two hurricanes coming in, I'm sure is going to hit the coast or whatever. And, you know, there's probably going to be a massive earthquake. For all we know, Yellowstone could go. I had a gentleman the other day tell me that if it does, well, it ain't going to matter, you know. I'll be gone anyway. And like I asked him, I said, okay, you know, say that it does take you. I said, what happens if it leaves your family, or you know, you're in an area that, you know, it takes your family and you're still here. You know, I said, then what are you going to do? Well, I'll cross that road when it comes. Well, you know, I think I'd rather be prepared and have the stuff and not prepared and not have the stuff and not be able to get the stuff. And that's what I tried getting across to him. I says, what happens if you can't go to your Walmart or, you know, somewhere to where you can, you know, steal the stuff or whatever? And, you know, he said, I really never thought of that. And I said, well, I'm just telling you, what happens if your car's broke down? I said, wouldn't it be nice to go in there and have a bag that you could grab and go on foot? At least you know you've got the essentials. I says, otherwise, you know, you have a pocket knife and that. And I said, you know, there's some people I'm sure that could survive off of that. But I said, me personally, I know I can't. So I've talked enough. Happy Friday. You know, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Once again, I'm sorry the video's so long. It's just stuff I felt I needed to cover. God bless. Have a blessed Friday, and just keep thinking and, you know, shoot for the stars, people, and keep praying for this country. That's all we can do. God bless. Amen. And have a blessed Friday.